Welcome to Race School, the programme that follows the progress of 7 pupils through an international race course at the Jim Russell Race School at Silverstone Grand Prix Circuit. It's day 5, race day, and the day the whole week has been building towards. Families and friends have arrived from all over the country to watch. There are a few nervous looks as they wait for the racing to start, but none are as nervous as the pupils themselves as they contemplate the day's racing that they've been working towards for a whole week.
My stomach feels like paste. I'm so worried and I could hardly eat breakfast. I'm shaking a little bit now. It's going to get worse, I know. It's horrible. It's really horrible. I think I'm excited as well, but scared.
If I don't come away with a signature for my licence, I won't be best pleased. So I really want to get a signature. That's my goal for today. But it'd be nice to win as well.
I feel extremely nervous, to be honest with you. Felt pretty unwell this morning. I just want to get out there and just, do this race and finish the race so I can get a signature on my licence, and I'll be like overjoyed if I do that.
Hopefully a podium position, but just stay on the track, have a good consistent race, good, nice, clean, smooth race, and things should run pretty nice.
No guest coming today, obviously being from South Africa, but I've got my technical supporter from South Africa to watch me and all that, which he has been the whole week, so I've got one bit of support.
Quite nervous, and to be quite honest, all I want to do is finish the race and get my first signature on my licence, but I'm still going to go for it.
Before the race, though, they have to have one more meeting to outline the day of racing action, to remind them of the rules and regulations, and perhaps to give them a few bits of last-minute advice.
A couple of 3 things for our first-time racers. Okay, obviously the heart beats up a little bit at the moment, I hope. Alright? But when you're out there, it's essential to relax. Okay? If you're really tense and rigid in the car, you won't feel what the car is doing, tend to overdrive it. The more relaxed you are in the car, the more you'll feel every little sensation the car is giving you. Alright? And don't be afraid to analyse what you're doing when you're out there all the time. Take a chill out lap, think about what's going wrong. If you're coming out of the corner, like for North for example, and you're not getting the power down good and early from that clipping point, you really are losing an awful lot of time down that back straight. And generally it's down to a couple of simple reasons. A, you're carrying too much speed in, the car will not take that speed. B, you're turning in too early, and so forth. You generally know what you're doing by now, okay? You should be able to analyse what you're doing out there. When we go out, I want everyone to relax, alright?
And then it's time to sign on for the race in order to qualify for their racing licence. This may seem unnecessary, but the system of race licences has proved an excellent safety feature, both for themselves and other racers. It's a way of proving that a race driver has the necessary experience to be safe on the circuit, not only for their own benefit, but for the benefit of possibly dozens of other drivers around them, meaning that any potential accident could have terrible consequences.
David, car 11, Ian, car 4, Christian, car 12, Mike, car 9, Nigel, car 8, Colin, car 14, William, car 1. Listen up, guys. A couple of things for you to remember. When you get in the cars, we'll obviously drive from here, the normal route, which you should know by now, off and into the pit lane. Make sure the traction control buttons are switched off in your cars. I'm not sure what they do when the ECU's reset. But you need a little warning light to come up to say that the traction control is switched off. Any other questions? No? Alright, if you want to get yourselves ready, you can get into the cars. As soon as the single seaters go out on the track, I'll clear it with somebody for us to run over into the pit lane.
And it's time now for the Formula Ford single-seaters to make their way to the track.
Race procedure, once you get in the cars, we're going down the sighting lap, we'll be showing you grid position, right? This is what it's all about, right? This is what we've been here all week for. Tough training really. It is quite strenuous, mentally and physically for some, alright? Safety is paramount, and you can't get hurt in this game, alright? race procedure. You will leave here, okay, on a sighting lap, all right? Go around the circuit once. You'll be showing your grid position by a grid marshal, all right? When everyone's in position, there'll be a countdown. 5-minute board, 2-minute board, 1-minute board, 30-second board. They're not real minutes, they're Silverstone minutes, all right? So they're slightly quicker than a minute, all right? When you get the 30-second board, get yourselves ready, get into first, okay? There'll be a wave green flag lap, okay? That's your practice start. We haven't done that yet, okay? Bring the revs up to about 5,000 RPM, okay? When the wave green flag goes, you can go practice start. You must stay in grid formation though, okay? So you're better if you let the first row go first before you nail the throttle and so forth, all right?
This is race control at the Stowe circuit at Silverstone. Now all of Jim Russell Racing Driver School on-track activities are controlled via race control here. Now it's seated at the head of a very busy pit lane which is very wide and ample space for the safety of the cars. Now all the marshals and observers that are situated on the corners are all in touch with race control. Now we've got a gentleman here who's taken lap times of the cars that are speeding around the circuit. All the observers are in radio link to the control centre in case of any incidents or happenings out on the race circuit.
There's just time for a last word of encouragement before it's off to the track to prove the skills that they've spent a week accumulating.
It's entirely her own idea, funded by herself, and no encouragement either way, to be honest. It's a matter of if she likes it, she's quite free to do it. My ex-wife feels the same, so we're both quite happy about the arrangement.
So a big result at the end of the day isn't on your...
No, in fact I'd be really hope that she comes in the last two.
Really?
Well, it's going to be very expensive otherwise.
I've lost the nerves a little bit now, so I feel a bit better. I was overtaken by a fair few amount of people. I think I need to be a bit more definite in what I'm trying to do in that bend, because I'm losing it all the time there, but I feel better. It felt nice.
A bit relieved, yeah?
Yeah. Ask me again about 10 minutes before the race and I'll tell you different, I'm sure. But no, I feel good.
Jamie, I believe there's been a problem with the qualifying times. What's happening?
I started off in the middle of the grid, so I took off and decided to hang back a bit and try and get a clear straight so I could get in a good flying lap. But in doing so, I had to hang back for quite a long time. You know, a lot of cars getting in the way. I managed to get in a lap. It wasn't really quick enough because I didn't actually get the momentum through the bottom corner here, which is south.
I enjoyed it and all. It wasn't the car I had this morning because some other guy managed to crash that this morning, and I had a bit of trouble getting it into third gear. Went wide down the bottom a few times because I was coasting around, just couldn't find a gear. And then before the end I managed to get shunted at that top end, which lost me another position, but it was good anyway, I enjoyed it.
Mr. and Mrs. Williams, tell us what you think about Darren doing the Jim Russell course.
I think he's enjoyed it tremendously. It's been a great challenge for him, and I don't think it's done him any harm at all. I'm all in favour of it. Good luck to him.
That was brilliant. It was so much good fun. I mean, I overtook someone on the start and I made up another place within the first couple of laps. Made one mistake when I was trying to overtake someone else, so I lost my place back again, which was a bit of a shame.
I started in third gear. It's not the cleverest thing to do, so I lost all the places and I was at the back by, I think by the end of the race by half a lap, but other than that I had a really great time. I did 15 laps without a single spin. I've got a signature on my race licence and I really had fun.
Out onto Stowe now for the race-prepared Vauxhall Vectras for the start of qualifying.
Clinton, how was that?
It was a bit shaky. It was, you know, it's more of a chance to get the tyres bedded in all that, because they're new tyres in the front, so the car is really all over the place. But I mean, that's no excuse. We're there, it's quick, but we'll have to see. Looking forward to the race. It'll be better, much better.
Didn't feel too bad. I felt pretty confident, felt pretty good. We'll see. Not a million miles away from what the other guys were doing. So yeah, I'm a bit happier than I was 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago even. But we'll see when the times come up.
Clinton, tell us about that. That was a really close race. It was really all down to the start, I think.
Yeah, no, I mean, it just proved, you know, what we've learnt and all that, and it's all gone into that, and we had a great race, Michael and I, so I'm pretty happy with that.
Content to go back with second?
No, never, but you know, that's the way it goes. We've got to accept it.
I knew it would be close. Clinton's a really good racer. I just had to be consistent, try my best. And at the end of the day, I didn't late break, I didn't push myself too far, and I just kept it in front. It was a good race.
My name's Sarah Pardington. I live in Shropshire and I'm a management accountant. Next year, I definitely want to do a full season in Formula Ford or Formula Vauxhall. It just depends on how quickly I can get it all put together, but I'll definitely be doing Formula 3 hopefully in about 3 years' time. If you're interested in motorsport, a lot of the men in it tend to be quite present. I think the 24-hour race is absolutely stunning, and you know, GT1 are pretty good. It's the next best thing to racing a Formula 1 car. I'm not very mechanically minded at all, but we did actually do a lecture down there on various bits and pieces in the car, and I have got a bit more interested in it. At the end of the day, it is a dangerous sport, but it's like anything. You get killed running, you know, just walking down the road. But you've got to be a bit careful, and it might, you know, it does influence how you actually drive, because you want to avoid accidents if at all possible. But at the end of the day, I know that the longer I stay in motorsport, the more likely I am I'm going to crash. So just got to minimise the injuries.
To become a #1 mechanic, it takes a little bit of time really, and it's like anything, you gradually go up really from one position to the next. Trying to coordinate the whole of the car really to make sure that it goes out on time. Looking after the engine guys and the electronic guys, it's like getting them to work together as a team. Biggest challenge is probably engine changes. Most of these things you have to do quite quickly. There's always a deadline you've got to go to, so you're looking at getting the car out in half an hour, 3/4 of an hour. And it's those sort of things that take the time really, and the biggest challenge. Best time is Sunday afternoon, just as the race is about to start. A lot of the hard work's been done. Really, you're looking forward to hopefully having a good result and a good race. Japan was the hardest. Pedro had a small accident on Sunday morning after the warm-up, which basically meant that the guys on Pedro's car had to build a whole new car for him for the race, which, considering the time scale, is quite good going really.
My job mainly is the management of the team, both trackside and at the factory, in terms of logistics, operating the circuit, making sure the team perform technically and sportingly within the regulations that govern Grand Prix racing as we know it. This is the nerve centre at a racetrack. This is where all the technical briefings and debriefings happen with the race engineers, myself and the drivers. We discuss using the data that can be put up on these screens where a driver may be gaining or losing time to his teammates. We discuss possible setup changes to the car in order to try and claw this time back and really optimise the performance of both the drivers and the cars. The most difficult part of my job is really trying to make the team work to its optimum at the circuit. Formula One is lucky enough to attract people that are keen to do the job, but you always want that last few percent out of people and equipment and the cars to make yourself as competitive as possible. So it's really about optimising the whole package, both technically and on a personal level with all the guys. The best bit of my job is something I haven't done lately, is collecting the winners' prize from the podium. That undoubtedly is the pinnacle of any job of a team manager, seeing the team be successful and win.
I must congratulate you. You did a good job today, but some of the antics were quite out of hand, really. You've all done a sterling job. What I'd like you to do is put your hands together for each other, because it is a very tough and grueling course. I'll call out your name, come up, you get your plaque to say that you've successfully graduated. Hunter Abbott. Hunter. Sarah Partington. Sarah. David Fisher Hunt. David. Darren Williams. Darren. Second name guard, Philip Nickerson. From South Africa, Clinton Weston. Clinton. Very, very eager racer, Jamie Richards.
Well, basically, this is what it's all about, you know, race day. That's why they come here. It's a very long, mentally and physically tough and grueling course. For some of them, it's been much more difficult than others. They've fought illness, wasp things, some really funny things going on out there as well. But generally, you know, by the end of today, they know in their hearts if they're quick or not as a race driver. We've had quite an eventful day. You know, first race we started off with an incident taking out 3 cars, which I never like to see, but it is a part of motorsport. Racing is a very, very difficult game. It is controlled by money at the end of the day. The more money you have, the more testing you can do, and supposedly the better you can be. But at the same time, you have to have an awful lot of natural talent.
It's been good. It's been a really enjoyable week, and yeah, good result at the end. Everybody finished the race, I think, in our race, which was the main thing. So we got those signatures on our licences, and not a lot else I can say. It's just been really enjoyable. Yeah, thoroughly great week.
I enjoyed the race. It was like pretty hard work. I expected to sort of like come at the back of the pack, but I didn't do too bad in the end. So yeah, it's been really good time. Really enjoyed it. Time to relax now.
I've actually learned how to control a car, which, you know, I probably have been driving far too fast in a road car before. But I mean, I thought I'd done quite well until I got summoned before the clerk of the course for a little incident with Jamie.
Great fun, learnt loads, and I'm really sad that it's over now.
I started off with no idea. Developed every little skill from heeling and towing, as Jamie puts, right the way through to skid control, just handling the lines and everything, and it's just been fantastic.
I learned a lot, definitely brushed up on the skills, learned to be a little bit more smoother, and the race was very good. Stuck in there behind at the same times, you know, you can't do much with a car that's exactly the same and all that, so just kept in there, kept it nice and smooth, learned something about the race and all that.
The things which I've learned this week will really set me up well for a racing career, hopefully, in racing cars instead of karts. I've learned so many things about heeling and towing, which I never knew before. They're going to definitely be useful when I start racing cars next year.
Join us next week on Race School when we'll take a look back over a week of experience and hard learning for our 7 pupils.